campaign team, and Ohene Ntow, experienced politician, and has been with the Alan team for years. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. What are we to expect with this alliance for revolutionary change? What kind of change are we expecting to see on the political landscape of Ghana after you launch this particular movement or alliance on April 17?
Are you asking about your change during the electioneering campaign period, or change should this alliance with Kyerematen?
No, essentially, what is the alliance bringing to the politics of Ghana?
The alliance is bringing a new dimension of non-partisan, breaking the very divisive, to some extent, even toxic partisan politics that we have played in Ghana, especially in the Fourth Republic, where the duopoly of MPP-NDC is enough to poison economic policy, education, agriculture, everything. And once one of the key parties, one of this duo, take over power, everybody else is not just considered political opponents, they are considered enemies. And this thing, if we will all bear true witness and be honest to ourselves as Ghanaians, this deep-seated animosity between the two entrenched political parties have not done Ghana much good. And so we, supporting Kyerematen's independent candidacy, believe that time has come where Ghana needs a leader who is not locked in any of this entrenched political partisanship. And that is what the alliance members have also bought into and subscribed to, and believe that truly where we are today as a nation, particularly having experienced 32 years of deeply divisive partisan politics moving into government based on the two entrenched political parties, this is the time to radically break that culture and usher Ghana into a new phase of economic and political development. That is the whole point. This is the new thing, radical thing, that this change that the alliance represents wants to bring to Ghanaian politics and political leadership and even economic governance and development.
I see often independent persons running on independent tickets are so hopeful and they say a lot of things like you were telling us. But when we get to the polls, I mean, they perform abysmally. How different is this movement or this alliance going to be from what you've seen in the past?
First of all, you are looking at an alliance candidate. And let me clarify this. The alliance, those who already signed up the partnership we are outdooring on the 17th, have already decided and agreed that Kyerematen is the alliance candidate. The running mate has not yet been discussed. So I want to correct that impression that is going out there that Alan, the candidate, has already chosen Dr. Abu Sakara. The alliance hasn't discussed that. So having said that, you're talking about the possibility, the chances, the probability. Now, we should compare apples to apples. So you are comparing Alan as an independent candidate to previous independent candidates, at least in the Fourth Republic. You're talking about Joy, you're talking about Kwesindum, you're talking about Yakubu Bay, and people like that. People have tried all sorts of things. But I dare say, in all humility, Kyerematen's caliber as a politician, Kyerematen's caliber as a public servant, Kyerematen's caliber as an international policy advisor on development and trade is unparalleled. I'm talking about capacity now, because we're talking about leadership. And you're talking about what new thing Alan brings to this whole idea of wanting to become president of Ghana to start with, and then independent president at that. Now, if you check Alan's record, everybody has done their bit in their various fields. But Alan started off as a young professional, working with the UAC. His record is there. One of the youngest managers who ever managed UAC. a very top-level multinational company with the highest standards in corporate culture, governance and management and leadership. Having graduated from that apprenticeship, Alan entered into management consulting, entrepreneurship development, to the extent that the UN supported him to introduce, first of all, what is called Empretech Ghana, which was entrepreneurship development for Ghanaian businesses, and then Enterprise Africa, by which Alan's initiative, supported by the UN, developed, as we speak today, many multi-billion-dollar businesses, not just in Ghana. Now, having entered into politics, Alan's first position is ambassador of Ghana to the United States under President Kufuor. Here is an ambassador who usually we would expect to be sitting and having high-level cocktails and champagne and so on and so forth and talking diplomacy. He did all that, but much more. Alan was very instrumental in getting Cosmos to help Ghana find oil in commercial quantities the first time. And today we are an oil producing company. Alan was the one as ambassador who spearheaded the arrangement for Africa Growth and Opportunities Act, AGWA, under which Ghanaian exporters manufactured goods from Ghana export to America tariff-free, to the extent that even suppliers from Ghana cannot meet their orders. Alan is the one who introduced PSIs. People talk about the PSIs and they denigrate it. I can tell you, one of the pillars of PSI, salt industry, has made people billionaires. I'm sure you are aware of that. The oil palm, the cassava project, the Yensu starch. As we speak today, Zoom Lion is a very major investor and private businessman in Ghana. Zoom Lion owns 70% of that investment. And Kumasi Brewery is taking the starch to produce cassava beer. Cassava starch is for pharmaceuticals, for the textile industry, for the shoes, leather industry, for the car industry. You don't know that cassava plays a part in the production of glue and so many diverse kinds of products. Oil palm, as we speak today, those who went into the PSI under President Kufuor, some of them, even though the next government of NDC did not maintain the momentum, and that project flagged. Today, even I always cite the project that I saw, one of them that I saw, Gabihine in Ashanti region, his own oil palm project under the PSI. You can go and check. And then come President Kufuor, beyond one district, one factory. Alan is the one who introduced what he called the growth poles, economic pillars that will help the government economic program take a leap, not just gradual growth. Today we are talking about 6 at least out of the 7 topmost automobile companies manufacturing in Ghana. Alan crafted that automobile policy.
Yes, but Alan crafted that in the context of a political manifesto and an opportunity. An opportunity given to him by a political party.
Can you take it away from him?
You know, but you know, as you admit that it's either NDC or MPP in Ghana at least for some time now, and so this new alliance or this new movement, is it not too late in the day for you to now begin disabusing the minds of Ghanaians who have known NDC and MPP to be at the forefront of politics in Ghana? Election is in some 8 months. Is it not too late in the day for you to begin that tedious job of disabusing the minds of Ghanaians in respect of NDC, MPP, and getting them to focus on the alliance? Is it not too late in the day?
I like those debilitating and weakening words, that tedious job and that too late in the day and so on and so forth. I like all that. But let me also tell you that time comes when people have to confront the situation. If you are in an emergency, and Ghana, let me dare tell you, Ghana is in dire emergency. Economically, in terms of political leadership, in terms of governance, Ghana is in crisis, except those who would not want to admit because they might be held culpable. But the fact is, everybody does their bit. But I am telling you, if Ghana is in such dire straits, and Kyerematen comes to this proposal And you're saying, yes, the proposal is nice, but we need 1 year. We need 10 years to decide. Well, that's your choice. But I am telling you, it shouldn't take Ghanaians 10 years to decide. If what Alan Kyerematen and the Alliance are presenting before Ghanaians, look, let me tell you, by the time John Mahama's government was leaving office, we had Dumso and IMF. At the end of our NPP government today, we have Dumso and IMF. So what is new?
Yeah, so yes, the concern,
Can I land, please?
Okay,
please,
quickly.
Please, can I land?
Okay.
Please. If in spite of all these things, people are locked in NPP, NDC, I agree. But here is the case: you have a choice. You have an alternative. If all of us, Alan and some of us, supporting this need for change and a new direction with the plan that he has put together, the great transformational plan, Ghanaians say that, well, sorry, the plan is great, but we are locked in our NPP NDC stupor. I mean, there's nothing anybody can do. So it's not a matter of time and tedious job. Yes, tedious jobs have to be done by courageous people who believe that this society can get better and that we deserve a better deal from any government or any leader than what we have got in the past.
I see this new alliance appears to be very much Alan heavy. I don't know whether it's because we're speaking to you. That's why Alan's, face shows all over it. But that's fine. But the Alan Kyerematen you so fondly speak of, was part of what you describe as
Alan Kyerematen is what?
That you so fondly speak of, or highly speak of, was part of the dire economic emergency you just spoke about. He just left the MPP barely a year ago, and all of a sudden, you are projecting him as the one with the solution. I mean, he was part of it right from day one, from 2017. He was there. He in fact, he's Ghana's longest serving trade minister, if I'm not mistaken. He's been a key architect of the economic situation we find ourselves in now. So is it not hypocritical to seem to say that he's the one with the solution when indeed he's been part of the problem?
I am really disappointed for using the word hypocritical. It is such a value-laden word, and I wouldn't have expected a professional journalist to say that, but I grant it to you.
No, I mean no malice at all. I mean no malice at all. If that offends you, I take it back, but I mean no malice at all.
You don't offend me. I'm just telling you what it is, because I'm a professional journalist. So I'm telling you, don't worry, I will proceed. Never mind. Now, let me tell you that the three names, topmost names that we have in this contest, John Mahama, Bawumia, and Alan Kyerematen, that mess that you are talking about, as members of a government, they've all come out of that kind of mess. So none of them qualify to stand for president, according to your judgment. So we should get somebody who is either outside of our society or somebody who has never shown his face anywhere near any government. If that is the criteria, then Alan and everybody else must be disqualified, period. But otherwise, let me also explain to you that in government, the position of the president, vice president, minister are dramatically different in terms of authority and capacity to drive the agenda of the government. When you're a minister and you make a proposal, doesn't matter how smart it is. If your president says no, that's the end of it. Now, you might say, oh, then Bawumia never became the president. If the president is out of the country or out of the jurisdiction or is not able to perform his duty for 1 minute, it is not the minister who steps in. It is the vice president. And the Constitution of Ghana says that once a candidate for presidential election files with the name of his running mate or her running mate, once that person is elected president, the running mate also is deemed to have been elected. That's the language of the Ghana Constitution. Deemed to have been elected. The vice president is elected alongside the president, basically sharing that office with the number one person being the president, the number two person being the vice. The minister is appointed by the president. The president can sack him any day, anytime. So the position of the president basically is analogous to that of the vice president in that context. Now, if you want to apportion responsibility, I can tell you that Alan's contribution probably saved the face of Akufo-Addo's government. His contribution as Minister for Trade. Let me tell you, and I'll give you the evidence. Anybody who wants to challenge me, they should meet me in the studio. When the president of Ghana, President Akufo-Addo, when his vice, Alhaji Bawumia, when his Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, when their deputies, all of the deputies have said, IMF over our dead body, Ghana beyond aid, never, never, never World Bank IMF. Alan Kyerematen was interviewed at the time by the media. I think it was Metro TV or TV3. I have the video. What he said was that, I'm afraid I cannot say we will never go to the IMF. I wish we never went there. But you see, you don't just use your mouth to say, I won't go to IMF. You've got to do certain things. If you did them, chances are that you won't go there. But if we are not able to do it and we slip and we don't have any choice, lo and behold, something goes wrong. Ghana got out of the IMF under Akufo-Addo and went back under Akufo-Addo. And then the president was afraid to take that decision. Cabinet was afraid. The vice president was afraid. Ken Ofori-Atta was afraid. Alan Kyerematen, from the information I got, very reliable information, Alan Kyerematen is the one who told the president that, Mr. President, we are stuck. We have borrowed all around the world from the private borrowing market. We cannot go to the private market. But if we don't get BRICS funds between this period and the next 4 weeks, the economy is going to crash. So please, you better bite the bullet. Let's go to the IMF, stabilize. Today, the president and the vice president are gloating that the IMF support has put the economy on a rebound. When the issue came up, the president couldn't talk about it. The vice president couldn't talk about it. Minister of Trade couldn't talk. Minister of Finance couldn't talk about it. About 10 ministers who were lined up to explain the situation to Ghanaians, all of them ran away from the media. Alan Kyerematen was the only one who faced Ghanaians and spoke as if he was the president or the vice president and explained the things. And look, we didn't wish we went there, but something has happened. This is the situation. We owe the private sector. We can't go anywhere. So if we don't get this BRICS funds, we are messed up.
Very well. So apart from
NDC was the one who took us there, so they cannot jubilate that we are gone there. That is how come MPP got some hope. NDC stopped jubilating. The man understands where we are today more than John Mahama, more than Bawumia. That is why I any day will recommend Alan Kyerematen so highly. I'm not just doing that out of ignorance.
Very well, and we appreciate that. So apart from Abu Sakara, who else is in this alliance? Who are the notable names in this alliance?
We have spoken to some of the smaller parties, Begin Ghana. We will list all of them. The day that we're going to launch this will be on the 17th of April. And mind you, even NIM, Abu Sakara's group, it is not just one entity. It's a coalition of some other groups, civil society groups, political entities, and so on. So that is in itself is a coalition. And then we are talking to certain specific individuals as well who have shown interest in the agenda that Alan is putting before all Ghanaians.
Are you speaking to the New Force movement as well?
We haven't spoken to the New Force movement. I'm part of all the discussions. We haven't spoken to the New Force movement.
But will you speak to them?
I cannot say right now.
I see. We also understand that there were initial moves from the MPP to speak to Alan Kyerematen to come back to the party. Have these moves ceased, or these conversations are still ongoing?
I am not aware of any such move. But when this matter came up, I addressed it in the media. And I think I have Alan Kyerematen's authority to do that. I told everybody, I said, look, the step that Alan Kyerematen has taken is not because it goes against the interests of MPP or NDC or because it is in nature. It is a very well considered step. Looking at the history of government in the Fourth Republic, what government has focused on, how it has affected or helped us get on with our economy, and he has come to the conclusion that we need a totally different direction. We need a different kind of leader. And I am that kind of leader. And this is the credentials I present. You can check my track record. Even as only a minister, I dare say, not even a vice president or president. So now, when you have that kind of thing, I think you would have to consider it seriously.
I see. Finally,
Yeah.
are you fielding parliamentary candidates, or it's solely a presidential movement?
The parliamentary is not our focus. However, a few people have spoken to us that they identify with the ideals and the objectives and the mission of the movement, and so therefore they don't want to go in the name of any party. They want to go independent. What we checked with them is that the dynamics of parliamentary election is quite different from the dynamics of presidential. It's limited to your community. The community people should know you. They should love you. They should know what you have done in the past to help them. If we go and check, and you are that kind of candidate, and we have a clear signal that the people want you in the community, why not? You support our ideals. We'll do our best to support you. But you go as an independent, not in the name of the movement. You go on your own. Independent means independent. But alliances can work, even whilst we have our own independent, different trajectories on other issues. So yes, why not? If the objectives and the ideals of this independent parliamentary candidate is in congruence with our own, why not? We will work with them.
Very well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nana Ohene Ntow is a key member of the Kyerematen campaign. Can I call you now as a key member of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, or we should wait till April 17?
Can you do what?
Can I call you as a key member of the ARC now, or we should wait for April 17?
We've already announced it.
Okay, that's fine. So
Formally, officially,
very well, very well. Thanks so much, Nana Ohene Ntow, seasoned journalist, astute politician, and now a key member of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change.